What's up, shoe fanatics? Now, nobody, and I mean nobody, is checking for this shoe, but maybe they should. Let's get right into it. First and foremost, appreciate you guys sticking around. Do me a favor, hit that like button, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know your thoughts about this shoe, do all that good stuff. Like I mentioned, nobody's looking for this shoe. As a matter of fact, I looked around on YouTube, on the internets, and I only found one review for this shoe, which was done sometime like 9 years ago. Now, it's an oldie, but it's a little bit of a goodie. Check this out. Now, real quick, you don't have your standard Air Jordan 1 box. This shoe is at this point a decade old, and the boxes look way different. This is the same kind of box that my Air Jordan 13 Flints from 2010 came in. As you can see, it's the old style black and silver Jordan box with what was a silver Jumpman on it, text Jordan there, all right? Now, apparently, this shoe cost $60 when my homeboy bought it. My homeboy was like,
"Hey man, why don't you review this shoe?"
Then I was like, okay, what is it?
I said Jordan 1 of some kind.
Okay, what kind is it?
Brown, green, Jumpman on the back.
StockX, go Google. I couldn't find any information on this shoe. When I finally got the shoe in hand, I was able to look up the style code and come to find out it is the Air Jordan 1 Velvet Brown. Let's go ahead and get this guy unboxed. Bam. This shoe, I think, is a hidden gem. Again, I had never heard of this shoe, never saw this shoe. I was not aware of this shoe's existence until my homeboy brought it up to me. This shoe is a, obviously, dark chocolate covered leather shoe with some kind of material on the toe cap with sage laces, along with sage tongue tag with garnet swoosh and a garnet Jumpman logo. This shoe does have some very stiff leather. Now, I'm assuming that this is the quality of the leather that the Jordan brand was using back in the day. But the look of the leather, in my estimation, is pretty smooth. You know what I mean? This shoe is not bad. So let's get into some of the details of the shoe and what separates this from the modern era Jordan 1. This shoe, immediately we can notice that there is two major differences between this Jordan and a modern Jordan 1. First and foremost, the tongue tag there is the old style tongue tag, which is a stark contrast to the Nike Air tag that is present on today's tags. There's also a major change with the stitched Jumpman on the back heel. Definitely something a little bit different. By and large, the overall shape and construction of the shoe is relatively the same. You still have the same kind of eyelets on the shoe, toe cap, the swoosh, ankle collar, of course midsole and outsole are still the same as what's present on a modern Jordan 1. Now, as far as material goes, nothing to write home about. This must be the most stiffest leather on a Jordan 1 that I have felt or seen in an actual person. There is a form protector on the inside of this, so it may not appear as, hard on camera, but let me tell you right now that it is incredibly stiff, especially compared to some of the other models like the Obsidians or the women's UNC Chicago, even the Mocha ones that I had a little bit of a complaint about. I'm not quite sure what kind of material is on the toe cap as well as on the upper here, but it is not leather and it's not necessarily a cloth. It feels like some kind of curtain material. I'm not quite sure what to make of it, but it's definitely different than what I've seen or felt in the past. That same material is obviously present again on the upper collar, and the sock liner is that, again, sage color, but does not have quite the same material as what's present on a modern day Jordan. That stitched tongue tag that I mentioned earlier is in fact sewn on and is much larger and takes up more real estate on the tongue than the new Jordan tag. Again, there's also that stitched Jumpman present on the back heel. Now, as far as the colorway is concerned, I'm not mad at this. This actually looks like a great fall/winter Jordan 1. This dark chocolate with the garnet and sage gives it a very fall, muted, bad weather look, and I'm okay with that. This looks like a Jordan 1 that you could rock in cooler weather or just when the sun's not out. This one goes perfect with the atmosphere and dreariness of fall/winter. The only thing that's holding me back from really liking the shoe is because, again, the material is just not that good. I don't know what to make, again, of this material, and this leather is just a little too stiff for my liking. I'm not quite sure what Jordan Brand's mode of operation was back in 2010, but it seems to be very different from the way they make and craft the materials of today. This shoe does feel cheaply made, which is why the shoe looked like it cost $60 according to the box. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Jordan logo is in fact stitched on there instead of debossed like it is on today's Jordan 1. The sage green laces are a flat lace, which for this particular shoe is acceptable. This lace is also the black lace that seems to be present on the women's UNC Chicago, which I told you I hated that lace on that shoe. The red swoosh is a little bit of a decent quality suede, at least it feels suede in my estimation. It is kind of nice. There's not any motion there. And it actually could be velvet, to be honest with you. This shoe doesn't have a whole lot of traction on it as far as where to find it if you were interested in it. On StockX and Go, and my size and size 11, this shoe is well over $200 some odd. Now, you might be asking yourself, that's a pretty interesting shoe. The greens, the browns, reddish. Where have I seen something like that before? Oh, I got it. So, of course, I'm talking about these guys. Now, I get it, Jay Shoe Fanatic, those two shoes are nothing the same. You're not wrong, but you're not all the way right either. This shoe does have some eerily similar vibes to it. At least this shoe looks like it's the offspring of the velvet brown shoe. If this is the great grandpappy, you can see how this is its descendant. And it's more than just the browns that I'm trying to compare. It's overall the material changes. It's how the brown takes this shoe, as bright as it is, and grounds it. It brings it back to some kind of earth tone, and that's exactly what this shoe is consistently made of. And that's how I'm getting the vibes from this. If this guy crawled, so this guy could run. Now, obviously, there is no comparison when you put the two shoes side by side. I do think that this shoe is a candidate for Jordan 1 of the year. Even with the tongue tag on this shoe, it is reminiscent of what's present on this shoe. Stitched in, and obviously this one does it to the extreme again. As I look around both shoes, that being the Biohack and the Velvet Brown, there's not much changed. Hopefully the camera will pick this up, but as we take a look on the inside of the shoe, you can see that it does have a chocolate brown insole with the garnet colored Jumpman. So there is a nice touch of color on the insole, which I think is a pretty good thing Jordan Brand did. Overall, I think with a modern Jordan's touch, as far as materials and quality control up to today's standards, I think this shoe would have been great for a remaster or a re-release. I wasn't a sneaker collector when this shoe was released initially, so I don't know how well received this was. Probably not too much, considering I can't find much information about it. Jordan Brand ever sees this video, I think we can do a remaster of this. Colorway is pretty nice, and I think it can go well in the winter time, as I mentioned. This shoe to me almost seems like a Jordan 1 boot or a Jordan 1 winterize. I appreciate you guys sticking around with me. I have been Jay Shoe Fanatic. This has been the Air Jordan 1 Velvet Brown. Take it easy, and I'm out of here.